What is the best 3D Mario? Yo, what's up, bro? Oh, why are you playing Mario 64 on the N64?
Because it's a classic. Why wouldn't I play it? It's like one of the best 3D platformers ever.
Yeah, there are better ways to play that nowadays. That game is so old, especially on that old console. Like, there are way more ways to play that these days.
Okay, bro. Maybe I like playing retro games on retro consoles. Is that okay? Besides, what have you been playing anyways?
Oh, just been playing the best 3D Mario of all time, Super Mario 3D Land.
Are you good?
Yeah, why wouldn't I be? This game is truly peak.
Yeah, I think you might need to see a doctor.
Bro, what's your problem with me? I'm allowed to like this game if I want to.
Okay, bro. Whatever. Can you leave now, please?
You know what? I'm not gonna leave. So why do you like Super Mario 64 so much, huh?
That'll shut him up for a bit.
Shigeru Miyamoto, the man, the legend himself. Also known as Nintendo's Golden Boy, the man who gave us some of the most iconic video game franchises of all time, like Donkey Kong, The Legend of Zelda, Star Fox, or even Pikmin. And of course, the plumber we all know and love.
It's me, Mario!
Yeah, so today we are going to be answering the question, what is the best 3D Mario? Yeah, so this is going to be a little difficult to do. There are quite a few 3D Mario games nowadays, especially in 2026. It got its start all the way back in 1996 to 2021. So there's been quite a few games. There are 9 in total, and we are going to be counting each and every single one of these games. What we're going to do here is going to be looking back at all of these games, breaking them down one by one, and seeing what truly is the best 3D Mario game. And yeah, it's going to be a little difficult. This video might be a little longer because there are quite a few games. And none of these games are inherently bad at all. Like, all these games are pretty good. So it's going to be a little difficult to see what truly is the best, And I know everyone has their favorites. I get that. I have my favorites as well, You're probably thinking, oh yeah, the guy that grew up with the Wii is probably going to pick Galaxy 1 or 2, or Super Mario 64 DS since he grew up with the DS. No. That's not what we do here on this channel, do we? No, Sensei! I can't hear you. No, Sensei! Okay, sorry, I got a little carried away there. But yeah, so we're going to be looking back at all of these games and breaking them down one by one and seeing what truly is the best 3D Mario game. So let's do this. Super Mario 64, yeah. The game that started it all the way back in 1996. This game revolutionized gaming and 3D video games as a whole. There were already 3D video games back on the PlayStation 1 2 years before the release of the N64, and Nintendo had to get their piece of the pie and make their 3D console as well. But they did a little different, obviously. They stuck to the good old cartridges, and that, of course, the launch game with the N64 was Super Mario 64. Now, this game is something else. When I think of a 3D platformer, the first game that comes to mind is Super Mario 64, the original Super Mario 64. This game truly is the 3D platformer. It started it all, This is where it all began here. And the N64 controller, as janky as it is and as weird it is to use, especially nowadays, honestly, playing Mario 64 on the N64 just feels right. I don't know how to describe it. I know that controller was obviously made for the N64, and it really does feel like that controller was made for Mario 64 and to showcase and utilize what this game can do with all the 3D movements and stuff. Now, the 3D movements were obviously very limited back then, especially this being the first game in the series, and that started it all. But Mario 64 still really does hold up very well to this day. This game is still played by very, very many people. Whether it's speedrunning or just to go back and play it. There are multiple ways to play this game nowadays, too. And I've replayed this game many, many times, whether it's the original, the remake, or, the port on the NSO online. The Nintendo Online app. So there are several ways to play this, and I've played this game, played it through multiple times. I don't think I've ever, fully 100%ed the original game, but I've played through it, and it still holds up, I gotta say. Now, it is a little janky at times. The controls can be a little wonky. But other than that, this game still holds up, and it's still fun to look back on. The 3D platforming in this game is just so unique. You go from a 2D Mario, which I think the most recent one at that time was Super Mario World, and then, you can count the Virtual Boy titles, but whatever. And then this was the leap into 3D graphics, and they really did what they were supposed to do with this game. You have other titles on the N64 that have the 3D movement, 3D graphics, but this was the game that started the 3D platforming and the genre of games, and it really does hold up quite a bit. Now, this next title came out all the way back on the GameCube in 2001. Now, this is a game that I actually played for the very first time last year in 2025. Yeah, I know. I don't know why I played this game recently for the first time. I have a video on the channel that you could go watch of my reaction to it after playing it. Yeah, I know. There's been ways I could have played it. The Wii is backwards compatible with the GameCube, so I could have just bought Mario Sunshine back then, played it then. There was the 3D All-Stars pack that came out as well in 2020. That also included Super Mario Sunshine, so I could have played it there. But that's not how we do things on this channel. I bought an original GameCube with a copy of Super Mario Sunshine and played it on the GameCube, because that's how we do things here. Yeah, so this game is still fresh in my mind. So Super Mario Sunshine, yeah, the GameCube title. Everyone's favorite Mario 3D platformer. I don't know why I never played this game when I was younger. It could be because I just didn't really know what the GameCube was. I guess the time that I grew up in, I genuinely did not know what the GameCube was, or Mario Sunshine at all until I was older. And so, yeah, I know I still could have bought it and played it on the Wii, but then I would have had to buy a GameCube controller, or I could have played it on the 3D All-Stars pack. I get that. But I had to play it on the original GameCube. I also had to get a GameCube for my console video as well, so I was like, might as well, So yeah, this game is still pretty fresh in my mind, and, I do have quite a few things to say about this game. This game isn't bad, so let's start with that. It's a good game. I still like it. So Mario has these new movesets, and this is the sequel to Mario 64. This is the follow-up from that. Do I think it delivers on being a sequel to Mario 64? Yeah, I think it does. This game definitely is pretty bold for a 3D platformer. They tried something new, a different take, a unique style for a 3D platformer. And especially for playing this for the first time last year, after playing, like Mario Odyssey, Donkey Kong Bonanza last year as well. Going back and playing this was definitely really, really weird at first. So, but after a while, I got used to the controls and the mechanics for this. And Mario's got this new companion for this game, which is the Flood Pack, which is Mario's water gun thingy. And those are how Mario's movesets work, is based off of everything with this Flood Pack. So he doesn't have the long jump anymore like he did in 64. His movesets are pretty different, and that changes a lot of things gameplay-wise. And so there's a lot of unique structures and unique level designs for how things, how the 3D platforming is moved around and stuff like that. There are a lot of new levels, creative levels, and I did not 100% this game. I attempted it, I tried it, and I almost rage quit. This game is by far the hardest 3D Mario I've ever played. Like I said, after a while, I got used to the controls, and I did like it after a while. But there are some levels in here that are just completely broken, especially if you play this on the original hardware with the original game. Nothing is fixed or anything. So there is a lot of weird, wonky jankiness in this game as well. It's just some parts of the game, not all of it's bad. Like I said, there are some levels that just completely, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, they just don't fit into the game at all. Like, I don't know what they were doing with this. I don't think they realized that Mario's movesets, I don't know if they were like fully capable of doing it. Yeah, you can 100% the game, of course. It's possible, but it's a little weird and a little janky to do that at times. But overall, this game is definitely unique. I know there are people that grew up with this game and have a lot of nostalgia for it. I understand that. And like I said, I liked it overall. It's just, it's not for everyone. It's definitely not my personal favorite 3D Mario. It is up there, though, I will say that. Especially if you want a more like challenging 3D platformer, 3D Mario. This one's for you. But other than that, it's definitely unique from all the other titles. This game also has voice acting, too. That surprised me when I first played it. I was like, the first cutscene, they were talking, and I was like, oh, okay. Mario with voice acting. Heck yeah. Now, this next one is one of my favorite games of all time. I know this is one of the more hated 3D Mario games, and most fans do hate this game. But I will defend this game till the day I die. And yeah, this could be me just blinded by nostalgia. I get that. Whatever. Say what you want. But man, I love this game so much. Super Mario 64 DS. Yeah, so this was, I think, maybe the first game I ever played. I don't know. I do have so many early memories of playing this game a lot. This was the first game I 100%ed as a kid. I played this game a ton of hours. Like getting home from school, getting your homework done, and just getting on my little DS Lite. I didn't have the original DS. I had the DS Lite. And it was this and New Super Mario Bros. That I played quite a bit, and Mario Kart DS. But I do remember playing this game a ton, and I don't understand the hate for this game. Yeah, sure, you could say it's because of the wonky controls on the DS Lite, or DS in general, because you don't have a joystick anymore, and all you have is the D-pad on the DS. I get that, and honestly, I'll be honest here. If I tried playing this game again today, I don't know if I could do it, just based off the controls. When I was younger, yeah, I was used to it, obviously. You know, that I didn't have a problem with it. But nowadays, I don't know if I could do it. But, with that being said, it's impressive that this game is even on the DS. It was the launch title for the DS as well, back in 2004 when the original DS came out. To have a 3D platformer and just a 3D game overall on the little DS was pretty impressive, especially it was a big step up from the Game Boy Advance with the previous handheld. And this game is Mario 64, but better. That's what it is. And I get the hate for it because it's on the DS, but I mean, you have 4 playable characters now in this one. I mean, first, you start with Yoshi for some weird reason, but then eventually you unlock Mario, you unlock Luigi, and Wario's in this game. And you can switch out characters whenever. There's also added on levels to this game as well. So there are brand new levels, brand new boss fights. Like I remember the Mario boss fight with the giant Goomba in that level. There was a lot of fun, different new levels in this game, and they were pretty fun overall. And I remember, like, I think it was unlocking Luigi, I believe. That one, like, some of the unlockable characters were a little hard to get. Like, Mario was pretty easy. I think it was Luigi where you had to go through, was it the mirror? In that one little area, and maybe it was for Wario. Whatever it was, they were a little weird to unlock, but eventually once you do get them and play through the game, you know, you beat Bowser like you do in Mario 64, the original. I love this game. I will defend this game to the day I die. I know I already said that, but yeah, it's probably nostalgia, but this game was the first game I 100%ed as a kid. I got all the stars. I did everything. So, yeah. Yeah, so the next game is also a game that I grew up with and played tons and tons of hours as well. And that was being on the home console, the Wii. And, you know, a lot of people do like this one and still look back at this game as well. And, you know, obviously they're making a movie based off of it as well. So there is tons of people that have nostalgia for this game as well, myself included. So yeah.
Super Mario Galaxy!
Super Mario Galaxy, released in 2007 on the Nintendo Wii. This game is a masterpiece. I'm sorry, I said it. Say what you want about this game. But Super Mario Galaxy is truly something else. Yeah, you could say the controls are also pretty restricted as well. Because it's on the Wii, you have to use the Wii remote and the nunchuck plugged in together. And that's how you move around. You know, the motion controls work. You use the motion controls to collect the star bits. You move the nunchuck around to move Mario around. The moves are a little weird as well for this one. I would say they're definitely better from the previous games like Mario Sunshine. And I will say, Mario Sunshine, some of the level designs, like the extra levels to get all the collectibles in there, some of them were kind of like the blueprints for Mario Galaxy. And there are a lot of level designs that were based off of Mario Sunshine's level designs, except this time it has the new the anti-gravity mechanic, and that's what makes things a lot more fun in this game, because now you're in space, this grand open big universe with tons of galaxies, and you're going around to all of these different galaxies, and all of these levels are based off of these planets in these galaxies. And they're just so fun and so very uniquely designed, especially with the anti-gravity mechanics, and there's just so many fun little cool movesets you can do with this game. And yeah, the camera is restricted as well, like the previous games, you know. Mario 64 DS, it was on the D-pad, so there's not much you could do with that. Mario Sunshine's camera control was janky at times, as well as Mario 64. But those two weren't as bad. This game is completely restricted because it's on the Wii. But most of the times, I mean, the camera will move for you to based off of the level. But sometimes it can be a little rough to kind of see like your depth perception of where Mario is trying to jump at. But that's only at times, and like I said, that's for the previous games too. And so that's kind of how they've ran the 3D Marios and these 3D platformers for a few decades until later on they changed that up. But if you played this as a kid, even going back to this now, you know, they just re-released this Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 on the Switch. It's also in the 3D All-Stars pack. And so there are modern ways to play this game as well too, and you know, you can use the Switch Joy-Cons. And honestly, it still holds up very well, you know. After you get used to it for a while again, it's fine, you know. Especially if you're coming off of a game like Odyssey, you know, you're going to be like, oh, this is weird and different. Like, if Odyssey's your first game and you've tried playing Mario Galaxy for the first time, you're going to be a little lost. But you'll get used to it after a while, and it's really not that bad. But yeah, Mario Galaxy is truly something special, and this is a game that I just love so much. I don't know as much as Mario 64, but it's up there for sure. But yeah. Now this next one is a sequel. Yeah, Nintendo making a sequel to a 3D Mario. We have never gotten a 3D Mario sequel before. You could say Mario Sunshine is a sequel to Mario 64, but is it though? I mean, it's completely different from it. And of course the graphics changed in that game as well. You know, you're not using the old 3D polygon models anymore. You know, you're actually having the updated models as well. And same thing with Mario 64 DS, even though that game was pretty restricted because of the hardware is on the DS. But even the models looked a lot better than the original game. So Mario Galaxy was so successful, Nintendo had to make a sequel a few years later.
Super Mario Galaxy! Woohoo!
Mario Galaxy 2 came out in 2010. You can say what you want about Mario Galaxy 2. People will say Mario Galaxy 1 are pretty equal to each other. You know, one's better than the other. And I get that. And I've made a video like a while back comparing the two. And me personally, I will say Mario Galaxy 2 is better than Mario Galaxy 1. But hang on. Whoa, before you leave. Before you get mad at me. Mario Galaxy 2 is Mario Galaxy 1, but improved a lot more. It's just more Galaxy with, like, feel to it, I guess you could say. But, you know, Mario Galaxy 1 might be better just because it started the Galaxy, just that whole genre in general. And without Galaxy 1, you don't have Galaxy 2. So, but Galaxy 2 improves on Mario Galaxy 1 a lot more and a lot better. But overall, it's generally the same game. Again, pretty much. I mean, you do have new power-ups, and, you know, Yoshi's in it. So, I mean, you can't hate on that. You gotta love Yoshi, right? But yeah, so Mario Galaxy 2. Oh, yeah, and Bowser Jr., you know, they just throw on everything they can to make it feel like a sequel, I guess you could say. And so, as much as I would want a Mario Galaxy 3, and as possible as that is, you know, it could still happen. It might be too late now, and you know, it's been a long time. But Nintendo could still do it. It's a 50-50 shot. But at this point, I mean, what could you do with the Mario Galaxy 3? You could do your open world, interconnected galaxy, but at this point, you just gotta move on and just, I mean, like they've been doing, and just keep moving on and improving and doing something else. And that's why I think both of these games will be so remembered and recognized for years to come. And, and it's finally getting the recognition it deserves with this upcoming movie, the Mario Galaxy movie. So it's coming back. I don't know if we'll get a third game, but at least we're getting a movie based off of Mario Galaxy. And I know, based off the trailers, they're throwing in a lot of stuff from the past games as well, but the full concept is Mario Galaxy, and there's tons of things you could do with Mario Galaxy, because it's just a grand open universe with tons of galaxies. You can go all around. So I like the concept of that, and so that's why I'm glad these games are finally getting looked at, back on, and getting the recognition it deserves. And I think that's awesome, because these are truly special games for me, and games that I grew up with and have so much nostalgia for. And I just love these games so much, and it's just really cool to see these games coming back again. So yeah. Now, this next one might be considered the weakest out of the bunch, and can be considered the worst game out of this, all 9 of these games. But like I said, I never said any of these games were bad at all. I like to see the positives in everything, and I try not to hate on everything as much as I can, even though I might sound like I hate on everything, which I'm not trying to do. But yeah, so this game was, of course, on the 3DS. Super Mario 3D Land. Yeah, this was another 3D platformer, a 3D Mario game on the handheld instead of the home console, just like they did with Super Mario 64 DS. This time, they were utilizing the power and the hardware that was the 3DS, because it could do a lot more things with the 3D effect. But sort of, I guess. Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 were kind of like the blueprints for these next 2 games, and setting up how the level designs work for those. And like I said previously already, that some of the level designs in Mario Sunshine were kind of setting up how Mario Galaxy would work in those level designs, except you have the anti-gravity mechanic. This is kind of the same thing, but there's gravity now, and these are all level designs that are combining the 2D Mario games and the 3D Mario games and putting them together. And so that's how these level designs worked, or these courses. And this was during a time where Nintendo was just doing everything New Super Mario Bros. For some reason. Yeah, it was successful. I remember I played New Super Mario Bros. On the DS quite a bit. I love that game. New Super Mario Bros. Wii. I love that game. Played that game a lot. Then you got New Super Mario Bros. 2, 3DS, New Super Mario Bros. U, and then you had 3D Land, 3D World, etc. You know what I mean. They were just combining all of the elements they could and putting them together for a 3D platformer. They were kind of trying to get the 2D audience and the 2D fans, 2D Mario fans, and bringing them over to the 3D genre. This game is okay, it's not bad. I remember playing this as a kid and not liking it, I feel like that says a lot if you don't like a game as a kid, because, when you're a kid, you usually like mostly everything, I feel like. But when you're a kid and you dislike something, especially a video game, like a Mario game, Mario's like the man back in the day when you're a kid, you're like, oh yeah, I'm excited to play the new Mario game, and you play this game, and it's a little lackluster, especially coming off of Mario Galaxy 2. But no, I've played this game recently again, and for what it is, on the 3DS, I will give it the respect and the credit for being on that game and trying to do something else and do something new. And I get what they were trying to do. But yeah, so what I mean by the elements from the 2D games put into 3D games is you're going through these courses, but except instead of these 2D level designs, they are 3D. And you're going through the entire course all the way and getting to the end of the flag. And that's how you beat the level. Just like the classic Mario Bros. On the NES. They were just combining 2D and 3D together, and that's what we got. And so for being on the 3DS, it's impressive for sure. But it definitely is a little rough to look back on now. I mean, it's not inherently bad, you know, it is what it is, so I'll give it that respect for sure. Now, this next one brought things back to the home console, but they tried doing the same thing and some similar ideas from the previous title, but this time bringing it over to the home console. That being Super Mario 3D World. Yeah. So this was on the Wii U. And if you've watched the channel, I've mentioned it several times. I never owned a Wii U growing up as a kid. I had the DS, Wii, and 3DS. During the Wii U era is when I switched to the dark side and went over to Sony and got myself a PS4. It's actually hooked up right there in the background. I use that to watch movies on that TV, laying in bed over there. But yeah, usually when I'm like looking forward to a new console, especially like a Nintendo console, I'm usually, the first thing that comes to mind is what is going to be the 3D Mario, what is going to be the Zelda, the mainline Zelda, and the Smash Bros. And then the Mario Kart, of course, too. How could you forget that? And I feel like that's for majority of people. These are the games that sell the numbers and the units. The Wii U, I didn't even know it was a thing until probably 2015. And the console came out in 2012, I think, 2013, whatever. But when I initially saw the 3D World trailer, and that was the 3D Mario that this console was going to have, and how it was similar to 3D Land. And me not liking 3D Land as a kid, I was like, well, I'm not getting the Wii U. So that's when I got a PS4. And yeah, 3D World, as much as I hated that game as a kid, as much as I hated that game through my teen years and all of that, I didn't play this game until it got ported over to the Switch, which we'll get back to in a second. This game is underrated. I will say that. This game is definitely underrated. It is very fun to play. It is very similar to 3D Land, but the graphics are way better because it's on a home console. And I feel like the Wii U graphics weren't even all that bad in general. And especially when you play it on the Switch, which I feel like the Switch makes things look better, a little bit better than the Wii U. And so playing the ported version to the Switch, because, you know, Nintendo is porting most of their Wii U titles over to the Switch because of the Wii U being a failed console. And they were trying to give these games a second life and a second go-around so people can pick up and play them and try them out for the first time, just like myself. I like 3D World. I really do. It's unique in its own way. And I will say the multiplayer aspect of this game is truly something else. It's pretty fun playing it with friends and family. And I think there should be more of that in 3D Mario games. But I think you should focus more on the single player aspect and have maybe some multiplayer modes. You know, like some mini games like they had in Mario 64 DS. I mean, those mini games started a whole generation of gamblers with the Luigi card game. If you know, you know. But 3D World, playing with friends and family, playing the 4-player multiplayer is pretty fun, actually. And getting through the levels, there's a lot of depth to these levels as well, and a lot of exploration. And now it's similar, and the same concept is pretty the same from 3D World, you know, or 3D Land, sorry. You get through the level, you get through the course, you get to the flag, to the very end, and that's it. That's what you do. Pretty basic, straightforward, super simple, easy, nothing too crazy. But for what it is, I will give it the respect and what it did for 3D platforming, because they are trying to bring these Mario movesets back, and I feel like Mario's movesets in 3D World weren't all that bad. 3D Land were a little rough because it was on the 3DS and you had the circle pad, but even that wasn't too bad. This was on the Wii U and it felt a lot better. You know, you could tell the movements were improving a lot more with this game, and they were stepping it up a lot, especially coming off of like Galaxy 1 and 2 from the Wii. So this was definitely a next step, and they were definitely improving a lot. And so that's what led into the next game, of course, obviously. And of course, the next game is the big game changer, if that's what you want to call it. The biggest step in the biggest leap forward for Nintendo in the 3D platforming. It took 3D platforming to a whole new level of things. And this is what people were wanting to see for their next console. Especially coming off of a failed console like the Wii U. And, you know, they had a lot of big titles for the first year of their new console, the Nintendo Switch. But this was the big holiday game for the launch year of the Nintendo Switch. And I was super excited. I remember getting all of the amiibos for this game. I got the red Joy-Cons for this game. This game is truly something else, and that, of course, Mario Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey changed the game around from the previous title, like Super Mario 3D World. This thing stepped it up to a whole new level of 3D platforming. And they just got Mario's movesets just perfect to a T. It's so good. I mean, Mario's movesets in this game are just so dang good. They're just so buttery smooth. Yeah, take that as what you will. Super Mario Odyssey is a masterpiece. And I say that a lot about a lot of games. Like, I already said that about Mario Galaxy. But this game is truly something else, you know. They knew what they were doing with this game, and they knew how to improve from 3D World, and they knew what people wanted for a 3D platformer or 3D Mario. They brought things back to its original roots with like Super Mario 64 and Sunshine, with a open sandbox style 3D platformer. So it was very similar to the two first games, and now not similar in like level designs or anything like that. No, this is you're going around the entire planet, traveling in the Odyssey, Mario's little hat spaceship, going around to all the different kingdoms around the planet, and they are all these different worlds, and there is just so much detail and exploration in all of these worlds, like the Sand Kingdom, New Dong City, the Cascade Kingdom. They're just all incredible. I mean, they cooked with this thing. And of course, you have Mario's new companion for this game, which is Cappy, who is Mario's hat now, and has this new capture mechanic, where you can throw Cappy at any enemy, and you become the enemy. I mean, that concept alone is like, what the heck? I remember seeing the first trailer for this game, the first reveal. I think it was back in E3 or something like that, whenever the trailer got announced. and seeing that Mario could become any enemy, like a Goomba, a Koopa, anything, a Cheep Cheep, all of Mario's past enemies, some new enemies. It's just incredible to see. And they all have their different unique little movements for each enemy. They all do different things. Like you can get the hammer Koopa Troopa, I think in the what kingdom was that? It was the Lunch Kingdom. And you can throw the hammers around. Spoiler alert, at the end you become Bowser. And that was kind of crazy too. And I think that was kind of like the blueprints setting up for what Donkey Kong Bonanza, Donkey Kong's movesets can do with like destroying things. And so they were kind of testing things out with that game too, and trying new things out. And it worked very well in the long game. This game is something else for sure. And I don't know how Nintendo's gonna top this game. You know, it's been 9 years since Mario Odyssey's been out, which is actually crazy to say. Or it'll be 9 years this October, but I mean, I'm not gonna say like this can be recency bias or anything, because this game has been out for almost 9 years now. So I genuinely don't know how Nintendo can top this game. I mean, this game is something else, and you know, I'm sure they've got something cooking up and how they can top Mario Odyssey, but we'll see what they do. I don't know what they're gonna do, but yeah, Mario Odyssey is truly a masterpiece for sure. This next one came out in 2021 and is so far the most recent Mario 3D platforming game, if you even want to count it as a 3D platforming game. I'm going to count it before some little gremlin in the comments says, oh, you missed Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. So no, I didn't actually. I'm including it in here, even though it's not technically a full-fledged game. It's technically it's like a DLC add-on. So yeah, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. So for Mario's 35th anniversary, they were bringing back every 3D Mario platformer that they had, except for Galaxy 2, Mario 64 DS. I don't think that game will ever get recognition again, but you never know. I hope it does. And 3D Land. Yeah, Galaxy 2 is now on the Switch as of recently. But 3D Land, or sorry, 3D World also got ported over, just like every other Wii U game was. But this time, Nintendo decided to add a DLC type of add-on to the game, another game mode pretty much. And they didn't have to go and do all that. They didn't have to go that crazy, and I think they only did that to kind of just give us something, I guess, for the meantime and the wait for the next 3D mainline game. Because I hope that game is bigger than ever, like bigger than Galaxy 1 and 2 and Odyssey combined. But we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. Again, it's been a long time since we even got Bowser's Fury. But anyways, when I got Bowser's Fury, I played Mario 3D World for the first time, of course, because I never played on the Wii U. I liked it. Then when I got to Bowser's Fury, yeah, it's super short. I get it. You know, it took me, the first playthrough took me like 2 to 3 hours, I think. But yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. Nintendo didn't have to go that hard for this game. Or this add-on or whatever. So it's pretty much you're placed in this this new style open world sandbox, but it's not like full like big open world. It's like this miniature open world map, which has never been done before. You could say 64, Sunshine, and Odyssey are kind of similar because of some of the worlds that they have are more kind of open world maps. But this is a actual like open world, connected everything. You go to any area you want type thing, like Breath of the Wild. But it's just kind of more smaller open world map. So it's set in the sandbox thing. Bowser and Mario can now go Super Saiyan, which, who doesn't want to play that? All of the Mario and Bowser, the giant fights, were pretty epic, The music's pretty epic, too. I got that going in the background, Nintendo and their metal music, just going crazy. And yeah, they took Mario's movesets and elements from Odyssey and 3D World and combined them. They put their movesets together, and it worked really well. And I honestly felt like it was better than Odyssey in a way. Now, of course, since this is combined with 3D World, you don't have Cappy in this because this is a 3D World add-on. But they also took some of Mario Odyssey's movesets and put them with 3D Worlds. And it works surprisingly really well, and I think this is kind of like the next step they were trying to look for in evolving this genre of 3D platforming and growing the 3D Mario games and making them bigger and bigger, which is why I think we've been waiting 9 whole years since Mario Odyssey, because they're cooking something very, very big up for this next title. What will it be? I don't know. But I do think, and a lot of fans as well, think 3D World plus Bowser's Fury was the blueprint and kind of like the tease for what we could see in the next game, the mainline game. Could be open world. This could be how Mario's movesets play out. But then again, we never know. We'll just have to wait and see. Just got to be patient with them a little bit longer. I feel like something's coming up though soon. But yeah, this game was something else. Like I said, it's not very long. It's a DLC add-on, but it's still a fun playthrough. And if you haven't played it yet, definitely I would. It's like 2 to 3 hours your first time through. It might even be like faster than that. But you go around these different areas on the map collecting the cat shines, and then you fight Bowser, the giant Bowser, because you become big Mario, you both become Super Saiyan, and you both duke it out, and it's a good time overall. It's pretty fun. So yeah. So that brings us back to the question, what is the best 3D Mario? Now, this is going to be a tough decision to make. Because of all of these games, looking back at all of these games and breaking them down, each game one by one, and looking back at all of these, playing them again, has been fun. Say what you want about whatever game is your favorite. I get it. Mario Sunshine. People who grew up with the GameCube love that game. Have a lot of nostalgia for that game. Mario 64, same thing as with that, like the nostalgia thing. And you could also argue that, it's the first 3D Mario game. It changed the 3D platforming genre. It started it all, pretty much. You could say that. That's a good argument. Mario Galaxy I could honestly say it's a masterpiece as well as Super Mario Galaxy 2. But without Mario Galaxy 1, you don't have 2. So there's that. I would say Mario 64 DS could be in the conversation, but we gotta be honest here, we gotta be realistic. I know, it's sad. I could say that's the best game, but, I would get dogged on quite a bit if I said that was the best game, because I know people hate that game. But like I said, I will defend that game till the day I die. But it's not the best 3D Mario game. 3D Land, 3D World, very similar games as well. People also grew up with those games, kind of like the same thing I did with Galaxy 1 and 2 and Mario 64 DS. People who grew up in the Wii U era, 3DS, could say those are the best games. Or 3D World because it's a fun, more multiplayer aspect of a 3D Mario. And I think 3D World's pretty underrated. Bowser's Fury. It's pretty short. It's not even a full-fledged game. That cannot be the best 3D Mario. As good as it is, it needs more. But then again, Nintendo didn't even have to give us that anyways. So they kind of just threw that in there with 3D World with the Switch, and you know, that was obviously pretty cool. So, but again, it's pretty short, nothing too crazy. And of course, you have Mario Odyssey, which changed the game, the 3D platforming to a whole new level of things, and changing it up. And some of the Odyssey team that made Super Mario Odyssey, after the game was finished, went over and started making Donkey Kong Bonanza right after Odyssey. Half of the team did. So the other half could be working on the new game. But Donkey Kong Bonanza just came out last summer on the Switch 2. And it's very, very similar to Odyssey. Now, Donkey Kong's movesets are obviously different from Mario. But those are also... Donkey Kong's movesets feels very, very good as well. And like I said, at the end of Odyssey, spoiler alert, I already said that, you get to become Bowser. And I think that was kind of like the blueprints for Donkey Kong's movesets. So, each game has been evolving one by one, step by step. And they've been taking aspects and trying new things in each of these games and seeing if it works and if people like it. And they will take those concepts and use it for their next game. As you can see, this has been a trend throughout the video. They've been using the aspects from older games and using them for their new games. And that's how they create these new games. So what is the best 3D Mario? And, you know, Super Mario 64, I honestly would put in the top 3. Just because, like I said at the beginning of the video, when I think of a 3D platformer, I think of Super Mario 64 like the original. That game truly is like the 3D platformer. It started it all. And it's so fun to look back on. As old as it is getting, and as janky as it is, it's still a good time overall. Super Mario Galaxy is also in the top 3 for me. I would say the first one is because, you know, I think Galaxy 2 is better. But like I said already, twice, you can't have Galaxy 2 without 1. Galaxy 1 changed things up for the 3D genre as well, 3D platforming with the anti-gravity mechanics. And you see that in games like Astrobot recently with Sony's 3D platformer. And Super Mario Odyssey changed the game in general. Changed things up, and Mario's movesets and controls are just so dang perfect, and they just got it so right. And like, they'll probably use the same aspects and same concepts of that game like they did in Bowser's Fury and use that for the next game. So it's between those 3 games, and I know I want to say Mario Galaxy is the best. I really do want to say that. The little kid inside me would want to say that because that game is truly something special, and it could be just nostalgia blindness. The movie's coming out. I'll be at the movie day 1. I might even shed a tear in the movie just because I grew up with those games. Mario Odyssey, on the other hand, is also something that I have a lot of nostalgia for already. And you can't say it's recency bias because the game is almost a decade old now. So, what is the best 3D Mario? Is it Galaxy or is it Odyssey? I gotta be honest here. I gotta be truthful. I can't go with what my nostalgic gut wants to go with. We gotta go with the best 3D Mario. That's Super Mario Odyssey. I truly don't know how they can top Super Mario Odyssey with this next game. Super Mario Odyssey is a game that I also 100%ed. I 100%ed Mario 64 DS, Galaxy 1 and 2. I don't know if I 100%ed Galaxy 2. And Mario Odyssey. I got all 999 moons in that game. I've also replayed that game like 10 times. I even tried speedrunning it too. I've never tried speedrunning a game. I did pretty bad, if you wanted to know. I probably got like 4, maybe 5 hours speedrunning that game, so not good at all. But I attempted it, you know, because I've played through it so many times. I've kind of memorized where each moon is, where I need to go. So I tried speedrunning it one time. Like I said, 100%ed it in a playthrough, got all 999 moons. And I don't usually do that with every game. Some games I try to, but if a game truly gets me that hooked and is truly that addicting to play, and I 100% a game, you know that game is a masterpiece. I don't do that with every game. I've only done that with the games I've already listed. I think I 100%ed Breath of the Wild as well. And there's probably a few other titles. But Mario Odyssey has to be the winner for this game. Sorry if I made anyone mad for not choosing Galaxy 1 or 2 or 64 or Sunshine. I get it, everyone has their favorites. Like I said in the beginning of the video, Super Mario 64 DS is probably my personal favorite, just because of nostalgia. But we gotta pick Mario Odyssey and be realistic here, because Mario Odyssey, I don't know how it will be topped, like genuinely. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about today. So if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. We got a new goal of 1,000 subscribers. So it helps me out. It's super easy to do. You know, you just press a button. It means a lot to me, you know. I genuinely do like it when you do press the subscribe button. You know, we passed our first goal of 500 last week, and that was truly special, and I'm truly grateful for each and every single one of you all. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about today. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite 3D Mario is down below. So yeah, see ya.